Jesus was a rock star. He brought the dead to life.
And I just gotta share this with you. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I'm not gonna look anywhere near anybody because I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So you have no idea who this is. But we had some people walk in today that I have just been praying for so hard. So I just as a pastor, you fight, and sometimes you see a life and you look at it and you say, I'm not sure anybody would have fought so hard for that one. Anyway, for whoever you are, I think you probably know who you are. I'm just so grateful. Our Jesus, He gave up so much for us. He gave it all. And the privilege of getting to serve Him is just incredible. And Rock Church is a different kind of church. I made a really silly video. I hate to do this too. This week I'm going to be sharing a video about Rock Church at District Council. And so I thought, what should I do? And they wanted me to have this video to kind of tell them what we're doing at Rock Church. And it's like I can't do anything normal. It's like I don't think out of the box. I lost the box, and then I looked for it, but I can't find it anyway. And so I went to my initial. So you remember the rock star with no shirt on we had in May? Yeah, he introduces me in front of 200 pastors this week. Yeah, he's going to be addressing the North Dakota General Council, but it's really funny because as he's doing it, because Diane is Pastor Freitag's wife, and they have never criticized me for anything ever, but they come across as being a little bit proper, religious maybe even. He's not a super smiley guy, and they're just maybe a little bit proper. And so in this video, he looks out and he says, "And Diane, you'd be happy to see him wearing a shirt today." And then I got really insecure about it, that maybe I went a little too far, but then it was too late. And so that's totally going to happen. But we are a different kind of place, and the reason why we're as different as we are is super simple. It's because if I wanted to have a church for Christians, we'd have a church that looked just like every other church. The whole point from the very beginning was that there's certain people out there that we want to break down every barrier that we could. And so when some of your lives, you begin to grow and you begin to love Jesus more, He begins to take the proper priority in your life. Oh man, that's just about the greatest thing on the planet. And I just anyway, so I was just a little emotional when I saw this person walk in today. And I just love you all so much, and fight for you as best as I can. I wish I was better, but I'm just so grateful because when you grab a hold of Jesus. Grateful
for you too.
I appreciate that. It's okay. Blessed God, would you pray with me? Would you say, Jesus, help me to be what you want me to be, do what you want me to do, because people without you go to hell.
If he's not gonna play the piano, then tell him to get out of the recital. You know what I mean? Hold on one sec. Yeah, buddy, I gotta make this quick.
Then may I recommend the instant demands? They're flash fried.
Yeah. I don't need the recipe. Just get it out here with a side of frazzled nerves and bring the check while you're at it.
Absolutely.
I needed the reports like yesterday. Hey, buddy, can you replace this one with one that's burnt above end? What was I saying? I've got to work late tonight, honey.
I choose. How many of you here wish you had more time in your life? Anybody? You run out of time to do things? Yeah, time is we just got what we got, right? And I think I wrote 3 sermons last week because I was on vacation, and so they have all blended together in my head, so I have no idea when I said what. But the most important time is right now, over and over again. it is right now. And we all wish we had more time to spend with our kids, more times to pray, more times to read, more time to work out, more times to go fishing, more time to spend with friends, maybe more time to travel, maybe more time to serve. But we have all these things pressing in on us. We have a yard to mow, a yard full of dog poop, because you haven't done it yet from the winter. I got started on it yesterday. Dishes to do, diapers to change, mouths to feed, bills to pay, chores to complete. Work projects are pressing in on you, and Instagram or Facebook posts to get just right so everybody knows just how cool you really are. A common response that a lot of people have to, hey, how's it going? And what's the response? How's it going? Oh, I am so busy. I have this, and they begin to tell you how busy they are. I had a pastor friend, and I'll let you decide just how good of a friend. But I said, it's been so long since let's get together. And he says, oh, I'm so busy. Maybe in 2 months we could get together. Dude, you're not that busy, okay? I don't care how you're not that important, man, okay? That was like 6 months ago. I didn't call him back. I said, man, if you can't carve out, you're a loser. How many of us feel like there's just too much to do? We're so rushed. There's not enough hours in the day. And then we say, you know what? I just don't have enough time. But I want to challenge you with the thought here. God created you, right? Jesus died on the cross. He rose from the dead. And He created you specifically. There are some things that come very easily to you. And there are some things that are a challenge for you. He created how you look, how you talk, your personality for a specific purpose. He has a purpose and a plan for your life today. I believe that with all of my heart. No matter who you are, our plans look different because He made us so different from each other. But He also gave you the exact amount of time to do what He has asked you to do. So why then do I feel so rushed and so gutted of time? Why is there never enough time? The reason why there isn't enough time, largely, maybe there's other reasons, but a huge one, is that we choose the urgent over the important. And so today, what we want to do is we want to intentionally choose the important over the urgent, because the urgent is always there. In business, okay? Calming an angry customer is urgent, okay? In also building systems and having policies that would prevent the customer from getting angry in the first place is important. Okay? Getting your car engine repaired is urgent. This is for all of you young ladies out there.
Hey, come on.
Changing your oil is important. I'm just kidding. I knew somebody once that she had gone 1.5 years and she hadn't changed her oil. And that's none of them. She's not here today. But anyway, and that was pretty. Getting help when you're sick is urgent. All right? Taking care of yourself so you don't get sick is important. If you do the important, you won't have as much urgent. But it's the urgent that presses in on us because the urgent is the squeaky wheel. The urgent is the thing banging us in the forehead at the moment. It is the thing that is irritating us the most. The thing about the important is, it's more important than the urgent, okay? But we often don't do it because it's not screaming at us. Like so many things in wisdom, we have to think long term because it doesn't happen by default. The important doesn't happen by itself. What happens by itself is all of these things that press in on us and take all of these things. So, if we choose the important over the important, Luke wrote about this in the story of two ladies and Jesus. And here's the text. As Jesus and his disciples, Luke 10:38. were on their way, they came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who had sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Have you ever does panic cleaning happen at your house? Is there anybody, now back in the day, people would show up at people's houses, right? They would just show up for coffee, they would just show up. You show up at my house, it'll be complete panic, okay? Now some pastors, their house is an open door. That's just never been us, right? It's just not because we don't want you to see our house the way it is most of the time. But when it's time for someone to come over, it's panic time, and you hurry up and get ready. Now with Jesus, he's a big deal, right? And so Jesus is the Messiah. He's a fairly big deal. And he does a surprise visit to Mary's house. Or Martha's house, rather. And so he's on his way, and Martha does what maybe some of you have done, what I have definitely done, is you go into panic cleaning mode. And now you've got to figure out how to have a meal for all of these people in just a moment's notice. And she's trying to whip this up. And so she's a little frazzled. Martha is more than a little frazzled. She's throwing stuff in the closet. She's grabbing out. She's boiling things. And now she would like to spend time with Jesus, but she doesn't have time to spend with Jesus, does she? Because she's got so much to do. So she has the Son of God coming. The Messiah is coming to her house. And rather than getting to be excited about being in the presence of God, she pursues the urgent. Because somebody had to do it. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to Jesus and asked, I got to tell the verse that falls in between here. So then Martha is freaking out. She's cleaning, she's cooking, she's doing all of these things. And then she looks over to her sister. Do you have a sister like this? I once yelled at an intern, "You are really good at watching me work." But he was the son of the senior pastor I was working for, so I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, my wife just gave me one of those looks. We'll edit that out. I can't edit it. No, you are really good at watching me work. And I went on. But we've all had people like that, where you're people in the kitchen, you look and somebody is sitting and you are working your butt off. And if you're like a lot of husbands sometimes, you look at your wife and you say, why do you stress about this? That's not the right thing to say. I don't know why I still say it, but it's never the right thing to say. Why can't this be? But that it doesn't matter. Look over, and she gets really angry. Now you probably have experienced that, okay? Where you are working harder than somebody else, and it's aggravating. It is maddening when somebody isn't pulling their weight and they're supposed to be. And so she's burning up inside. Finally, she goes to Jesus and she says, we pick it up now in the middle of verse 40, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work? Can't you see what she's doing to me?" You ever prayed that way? God, can't you see what they're doing to me? Right? Jesus said, can't you see my sister's left me to do all the work? Tell her to help me. Now, you're mad when you're ordering around the Son of God, right? Right? You've reached your max when you're telling Jesus what to do and this is coming right out, As if we don't do that all the time. But she looks right at the Messiah and says, "You tell her, get out here and help me." My question for you today is, what is distracting you? What is distracting you? You are faithfully pursuing the urgent, and sometimes, many of us, most of us, at times to time, all of us from time to time, miss the important because we're chasing the urgent. What's the most important thing today that you have been distracted from doing? Your marriage, your health, your spiritual life. Maybe there's a sin that you need to pick up the fight again. And Jesus turns back over to Martha and says, "Oh, Martha, Martha." Is that someone talks to you that way? It's so irritating. But Scripture, two named twice in a row. "Oh, Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you're worried about all these many things. But few things are needed. Only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." You are stressing about the wrong thing, Martha. She's chosen the better thing. You're stressing about all of this stuff, and none of this matters. None of this matters. What's the most important thing that you've been distracted from pursuing, doing, or being? Because Americans, we do this really well. Americans, we truly are way busier than any other country in the world. I could have pulled out the stats, but they're staggering. We work harder than anybody else. Just to put this in perspective, we, of course, that's one of the things I find really fascinating when I travel to Norway, is how much time they have off. If you start a job in Norway, you start with 4 weeks of vacation, right out of the gate. You know, I was talking to someone the other day that they're making a mid-level career change. You know, and their new job is they're going to be back at 2 weeks. You know, and they built up a lot of vacation. And I told them, I said, man, I would negotiate and get that time back again. But it's back to 2 weeks. In Norway, you get 1 month right out of the gate, and I think it goes up some there. But then you get, which holiday gets 2 weeks? Is it?
Christmas and Easter both have lots of holidays.
Christmas and Easter both have almost 2 weeks of vacation. And then you have that vacation. So when you get out of your first job, and you get your first job in Norway, you start out with about that would be 8 weeks right there, plus a little more. So you get over 2 months off a year right away. If you were, Ingrid Lisa asked me, well, you can't do that on Good Friday, nothing will be open. She still does that all the time. You can't, the stores aren't going to be open this time. In Norway, all the stores close at 5. No one goes anywhere after 5, okay? And not only is it vacation, but even the stores are on vacation. You don't buy things that week. And our culture, what I'm saying is we Americans really are different on this, and we are truly broken in this way. This isn't how God intended us to be. And we're not preaching on that today quite, but you talk about Sabbath rest, you talk about the religious holidays and no work, you were commanded not to work. God actually takes the Sabbath rest. It is the black sheep of the Ten Commandments family, is remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Nobody takes it seriously. And the thing is Jesus said, when he was challenged on the Sabbath, he said, you guys, the Sabbath isn't for God, it's for you. You know, and we're not going to look at that verse right now, but Jesus even makes a point. And he says, you guys are misunderstanding the Sabbath, okay? You're making it as a religious burden, but this is a gift from God to you. And we are designed to have rest. Human beings, God made us to need a Sabbath rest. But we don't have time. And so what's the most important thing that you've been distracted from pursuing, doing, or being? Is it time with God? Is it time with kids? Is it to work out? Is it to read? Is it to journal? Is it to do more at church? I want to challenge you that you have the exact amount of time that God intended you to have. And you are not busy because He's asked so much of you. You're busy because you've either asked too much of yourself or you're allowing other people to dictate your schedule. That's why you're so freaked out and busy. And you don't have to live that way. I'm an American. It's hard not to live that way. Okay? But you don't have to live that way. We can choose for the important. Now, in the last few minutes that we have here, I have some tips for you to help. Because this is easier said than done. And this is one of those things that tactics matter. I mean, if you go out without intention, you're just going to chase the most urgent thing all the time. That's what we do. But there are some things that you can do. Number one, create artificial deadlines. Artificial deadlines. Artificial deadlines leaves room for things to go wrong. For instance, an artificial deadline might be, for me, is I try to have my sermon done on Thursday. It's an artificial deadline because I don't actually have to have it done until about 45 minutes ago. And that's happened before, okay? And I've done that, you know. But Thursday is my artificial deadline. It gives the sermon a few days to roll around in my head. Before Sunday, I'll often think of things and things. But if I wait till it's artificial deadline to leave for work, to be ready, an artificial deadline for those things that need to be done, because it gives you space. Because I've learned that when you have an artificial deadline, it gives you room to have things go wrong, and things always go wrong, right? But when they go wrong, you don't have that artificial deadline in place. It just goes crazy. You ever notice? Maybe at least I noticed this. I am the most efficient right before I go on vacation because I have all of these dots that have to connect themselves for a little while. And so the week before, we were just on vacation last week, and I'm just so good. I get so much done so fast because I've got a deadline on myself. So that can be a really good thing for artificial deadlines. Be ruthlessly selective in your yeses. Ruthlessly selective in your yeses. Busyness does not equal productivity. And I encourage you to be really careful what you say yes to, because, and I have another cliche. Well, this is my cliche. Okay, maybe it's not. I don't remember. Anyway, if you hear it someplace else, tell me. But we really want to work hard to undercommit and overperform. Undercommit and overperform. For instance, I learned a while ago. I told somebody I was going to visit them in the hospital, and it was. And I told them I would be there, and then stuff happened that I couldn't be there. And you probably have noticed this if I visited you in the hospital. I'm pretty confident I probably have never told anybody that I will definitely be there at this time, unless you are meeting to go in beforehand. Like I'll meet in the waiting room before somebody goes in to see the doctor. I'll do that. But as far as visiting, because I learned that, man, if you make a commitment and then you drop it, now you're a liar. Okay? But if you don't make a commitment and then you do it, dude, you're a hero, okay? Undercommit and overperform every chance that you get. And that's your yes be yes, and do yes be yes, and your no be no. Do less and do it better. There's some incredible books out there that you can read on this subject. There's a Christian book out there called Simple Church. They've studied it, and they've discovered the less a church does, the more productive it is and the happier the people are. Okay, because as churches grow, they get spread thinner and thinner and thinner, and it's just a lot of busyness. The non-Christian business equivalent is a book called Good to Great, and it's a very famous book, business book, and it's about how businesses trimmed down to their core, and then their productivity exploded. And in their case, the amount of money they earned. I love the word. Yeah, successful. That works. That works. But when you get things down, because God hasn't probably asked you to do all that stuff, okay? Undercommit, overperform. The best don't do more. The best do more of what matters most. The people who are the most successful have figured out how to apply their energy to the right things, because we all have the same amount of energy. I learned a long time ago that for me, maybe you're different, I don't need time management, okay? Time management is, I don't need that. What I need is energy management, okay? Because when I dive into something, and I think a lot of you are probably real similar, I can work hard for it and get a lot done in a little period of time if I got good energy. But when I poop out, man, I don't get nothing done. And so I've really learned a lot it's not about managing my time, because I've got enough time. It's about managing my energy and giving my energy to the most important things. Do what matters most. Do first what matters most. Okay? Now, I encourage you that time with Jesus matters most. Okay? I encourage you that your involvement in church matters most. Because if we put it off, well, I'll work out when I have time. Okay? When if you're a young guy and playing too many video games, I tease this all the time. When I have time, I'll go out and meet some girls. Actually, he's a guy who plays many video games. He was like 40 years old, and I told him, when would you meet a female? Okay, you got your nose in your computer the whole time. We find time for what we want. You have time for those things that you choose to have time for. And you get to choose what you do first. And you get to choose the commitments that you make. So do first what matters most. If there's something that has to happen, doing it first in the morning is the best time to do it. By putting artificial deadlines on yourself, I do this to myself all the time. Because I've got a piece of work that I'm looking forward to, and that I'm really going to enjoy. It's really easy to do the fun work first, and to do the stuff I don't want to do, last. That's so easy to do. So you push these things off. And so there's another book out there called Eat the Frog, which is the principle of the whole book. And the principle of the book is, if you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is eat a frog, everything's going to be good after that. And so start off your day doing the task that is important, that you want to do least. Okay? Eat the frog. It's a fun book. Martha chose the urgent. Mary chose the important. Mary has chosen better. And Jesus said, what she has will not be taken from her. What she has will not be taken from her. And so we have an opportunity. You have an opportunity because God has given you the ability to choose. You get to choose how you spend your day. You get to choose, unless you're a little kid, and I don't see any of them in here, okay? You get to choose all these things in your life. And I want to say this as gently and as firmly as I can. If you are too busy and you're stressed out as a result of that busyness, it is your fault. If you're stressed out because of your busyness, you did that to you. Now, there are times of life when you run hard. Sometimes in ministry, things tend to be a series of sprints, okay? And that's total. So there comes a time when you just throw yourself into it. But then if you don't have some downtime, you'll die. You'll get depressed. You'll begin to fall apart. If you're stressed out because of your busyness, you did that to you. And you are the one that has to take control of it. Nobody can do that for you. And you have to be a little bit ruthless. And I would encourage, now, I preached a message similar to this some years ago. And a person came up to me afterward and she said, Pastor, you are so right. I'm doing too much. And then she got out of every ministry she was involved in the church. She got that as her gateway. And actually, I've seen that happen over and over again. If you are going here and you are somebody who volunteers a lot, and you volunteer in a number of different areas, I could even call some of you out, I am positive that I have said to you, don't do too much. I want this to be fun 20 years from now. I bet you I've said that to a whole bunch of you. I want you to be loving this until Jesus comes back. Ministry should be fun. But what we tend to do is we get more and more and more involved, and then we are stressed out. And that's wrong. And I know that if I get you to pace yourself, I'll get to keep you longer. Because this lady, she had been doing too much, and she took that as her gateway just to drop everything. Okay? And that is not what I am saying today at all. But what I am saying is that we be very, very intentional. Very, very intentional in how we divide up our lives. So if you are stressed out because of your busyness, you did that to yourself. Some of you are so in debt that you don't have options with your finances. You have debted yourself up to your eyeballs, and that has been stressing you out. Well, you're the only one that gets to make the choices to get out of that. Only you get to do it. And I want to say this again as gently and as strongly as I can. If you're stressed out, God didn't do that to you. Okay? God gave you the same amount of hours. We have to be stewards of our time. In our financial class that we are taking right now, that is about to wrap up here in a few weeks. But one of the things that they said, and I've been through this stuff many times, and I've seen this video before, but he said, if God really owns all of your wealth, if God really owns all of you, now the money that you spend on your vacation is just as spiritual as the money you give to your church, because God has laid it upon you to manage all of it. Now I was going on vacation, and I thought, I have an obligation to God that my vacations not be so busy that I come back exhausted. The point of my vacation is to recharge. It's to come back with more passion than I had before. It's to come back with that emotional reserves that we need to keep on pushing even when things are tough. You know, but I think a lot of us either don't take vacations. There's a lot of people or they don't take their days off. And you can do that for a while. Our first 2 years of marriage, we didn't have a vacation. Weird policy. I got 0 vacation the first year that I was there, and then I went to 2 years, and then anyway, and we saved that up. And so it was almost 2 years before I had any vacation for 2 years, and then also for that period of time. It was, I got a little long. The only day off my wife and I shared, well, no, we did not share a day off for the first 3 years that we were married. And you can run that way. Can I tell you though, it is not fun. Man, all of a sudden life just kind of loses its taste. You're just doing the thing you got to do next. And the first thing that goes is your creativity. The ability to handle problems in creative ways. At least for me, that's the first thing that goes. You know, when I get burned out and tired. But we have an obligation to God to take our Sabbath rest. Because in order for you to do all that God has for you in this life, He needs you fresh. You know, now say you go to work tired, and you've been burning it at both ends. You've been going too long, too hard, and you are unhealthily spread thin, and your creativity is gone. And then one of your coworkers comes to work that day, and they give you some cues that normally you would have picked up on. They're looking at the ground. They don't eat their lunch. But you are so wrapped up in your own head that you miss all of their cues. You miss the inflections on their voice that would have told you that something was wrong. And there was God had a plan for you that day. And His plan was for you to ask, how are you doing? And we said, oh, I'm fine. He says, no, man, you look down at this one, something's going on, tell me. And then they open up and they come to Jesus because of it. Now that's just one silly little thing. But that it could be that way with your kids. I know I do with my kid. I'm tired, I'm spread thin, and then I get distant. I become unavailable. And I'm not there. She deserves a better dad than that, you know? And she deserves a dad that is attentive and one that is engaged with her and not just get home so worn out that you just crawl in your own head and lay there. God's purpose and plan for your life is dependent on you taking proper Sabbath rest. That's why He made it one of the big 10. So if you're busy, it's your fault. So right now we're going to pray. And I'm going to pray for us that we would be very, very focused. Because we want to love like Jesus. That's the theme, the series that we're going to be doing next week. We want to love like Jesus. And Jesus wasn't worried about the little stuff. He kind of wanted Martha to leave her house dirty. He didn't want Martha to lay out a grand meal. He wanted it to be simple because He would have preferred that Martha would have just laid at His feet. And we don't want to miss loving Jesus. We don't want to get so busy, so we want to love like Jesus. So I'm going to pray now. But you might be here today, and God might not be a part of your life. Maybe there's been a big gap. Okay, you say, well, I am so busy, but God has not even been part of the busyness. All right? If God hasn't even had a slice in the pie of your busyness today, I want to appeal to you to give Jesus your life today. And I want to appeal to you not to give Him a slice of the pie, but I appeal to you to grab the pie and just throw it at Him with all your worth. Give Him your life, because in Him, He will give you the wisdom to let go and to kill that busyness and to focus on what really matters. So we want to love like Jesus. So if you've never given your life to God today, to Jesus, I encourage you to do so today. If you're here today and His pie has been shrinking, and you want to say, Pastor, today I want to grab the pie and throw it at Him. I want Him to own my entire life. I'm going to pray for you today. And if you would be on those Care Connection cards, if you pray with me, go ahead and just put a cross on that card. It just says, Pastor, I heard you. And it was really neat to be in Florida and to look through some of those cards and to see some of the things that people were saying. And that was pretty cool. But we're going to pray. And if you want to pray that with me, just put that cross on that card. I'm throwing the pie. You can write that. I'm throwing the pie, Pastor. God, I love you, and I thank you for the good things that are happening. I thank you, God, that there are lives at Rock Church that will never be the same. because of the ministry that has been happening here. And Lord, we're quirky, we're silly, we're different, but God, I just humbly pray, God, that it would, that you make us what you need us to be to reach the people you want us to lead. God, I pray for this next series. Oh God, I pray that you would help us to love like Jesus. Lord, we want to love like you. We want to touch people like you would touch them. We want to talk to them how you would talk to them. God, we want to notice every nuance in their tone and conversation so we can minister to them the best we can. So Lord, I pray that you would help us to say no where we got to say no. God, I pray that you would help us to take a step back and to look at our lives and to be like a surgeon and say, I'm going to do more of this and less of this. I'm going to do this important thing. I'm going to do the important, and I'm going to manage the urgent. I'm going to do the, because sometimes you just got stuff we just got to do, Lord. But we're going to prioritize and do the important first, and then we're going to manage the urgent. And God, I pray that you would help us to do that in people's lives, Lord. When we investing in people, important are those day-to-day relationships. Urgent is when somebody's life is completely falling apart. God, I pray that you would make us, to help us to love like you. That we would be a part of people's lives and not just wait for something to fall apart. But we would be there for each other, God, in Jesus' name. So Lord, I give you all that I am. And I pray, God, that you would help me to always focus on the important. In Jesus' name. Help me get better at it. Amen.
Jesus was a rock star.